Welcome to Real Deal. I'm Terra, and this week I'm going to be talking about One of Them Days, the 2025 film directed by Lawrence Lamont, produced by the creative mind behind Insecure, Issa Rae. One of Them Days stars Keke Palmer, SZA, Vanessa Bell Calloway, Cat Williams, Maud Apatow, Janelle James, and Amin Joseph, to name just a few. Best friends and roommates Drew and Alyssa are about to have one of them days. When they discover Alyssa's boyfriend has blown the rent money, the duo finds themselves going to extremes in a comical race against the clock to avoid eviction and keep their friendship intact. I have to say, right off the bat, I was very excited for this movie when it was announced. I think Giselle was too. Personally, I feel like there are no buddy comedies with Black women. We've been in a drought. I think the last one I can name is Baps, and that would be maybe 30 years ago with Halle Berry. I guess you could count Girls Trip, but that's not really a buddy comedy because there's 4 of them. So I'm really excited that One of Them Days seems to be doing so well in the box office. I think on Rotten Tomatoes, it has about 100%, and it's supposed to be overperforming. So I hope that encourages the industry to continue making films like this. My thoughts on this, like I said, super high expectations, and I was not disappointed. I think that Keke Palmer is fucking fantastic. I think she's hilarious and such a bright star in everything that she's in, and I feel like we don't appreciate her and her talents enough. She's fantastic in this, but we also have to give a little bit of love to SZA, or a lot of love, because SZA is great in this, and this is her first time acting. She hired an acting coach. This is her acting debut, and all of that effort and time really pays off because the connection between the two of them is so believable and so authentic. And I think that was a main concern of mine, is that we would see something here that you can't really buy into, but that's not the case at all. I mean, these girls and the friendship that they have on screen, you can feel that there's real love there, and you really buy into their story because honestly, you really do fucking have one of those days sometimes where it just feels like everything is going wrong, everything is due, and your bank account has nothing in it. And you're like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to figure something out, maybe feet pics or something. I don't know how I'm gonna fix this, but it's just me and my bestie out here, and we're gonna have to fucking find a way, I guess. I was not disappointed with this. I think it's chaotic enough, but it's not trying to accomplish too much, and I appreciate that as well. I think that you have buddy comedies like Friday, which is obviously infamous. That film is so hilarious. And like I said, I really am looking forward to seeing more movies like One of Them Days. I know that Issa Rae, has gone on record in interviews saying that there is a lot of pressure for films like this to be successful, so that studios and the industry are like, oh, okay, Black people do want to see a movie like this. Women do want to see a movie like this. And I hope that the box office success is generating a conversation about having more Black women be led in movies that are not always about trauma or something tragic. I feel like One of Them Days is a fantastic start to the year. Usually Januaries have such terrible films. If you think about 2024, you've got Mean Girls, and I think Night Swim, and even maybe Argyle. I don't know if that was even last year or 2023. It's just kind of a brain fog at this point of movies that were very bad. And the Bob Marley movie. I know Giselle saw both of those. She's such a trooper for that. But this is such a what I thought was going to be a hidden gem starting off the year on a great foot in terms of cinema. This is fantastic. I think that everybody should go see it. If you're a fan of Euphoria, you also have Maud Apatow in here, who has a decently significant role, which I was very surprised by. I also think the LA representation in this film is phenomenal. While I'm not an LA resident myself, my mom is from LA and one of my best friends lives in LA. This movie reminded me so much of her and all of the times that I fly out to LA to spend time with her, and we just get into literal fuck shit even if we're not even trying. This movie just perfectly encapsulates what it's like to just have a fucked up ass day and your bestie is right there and you're like, damn, I guess we gotta just figure this shit out ourselves. Also, a lot of appreciation for the fact that this movie is 97 minutes. I think we need to go back to having shorter movies. This is not shade on The Brutalist. If you are brave enough to go watch that 3-hour and 30-minute movie, which I will have to do before Oscar season really begins, I applaud you if you've already seen that. But it is so nice to be able to go to the movies and see something that's not going to take up like a major chunk of your time. This movie is lighthearted, it's funny, and it does tackle things that are like serious issues in your life. I mean, rent being way too expensive, trying to make things work as a creative artist, staying away from men that are definitely like terrible for you. Obviously, incredibly relatable topics for women and incredibly relatable topics for Black women. It's really nice to see something like that be covered in such a lighthearted way versus, like I mentioned earlier, something like Euphoria, where you're not really walking away from an episode of that laughing like at all. So I think in the spirit of like the times that we're entering with a new presidential election around the corner and a lot of very serious films, you know, being spoken about, you've got Emilia Perez, which is a whole different conversation on, you know, gender and the quality of movies nowadays. I think that I'm so appreciative of One of Them Days for just giving me a little laugh, like something to go in the theater and have a raunchy, like buddy comedy moment. It was great. It was really reminiscent of like 90s movies too and like early 2000s movies. I definitely just highly suggest this. Take your best friend, like take a buddy, go watch this. You know, that friend that you're constantly getting into deep shit with. I feel like this is the right film. Like it's a little cheesy, it's a little corny, it's not very serious, but that's what we all need. I think we need like a nice jokey movie every now and then. I recommend this, and I kind of can't wait to see what SZA does next. I'm glad that we're done lying on the internet about our album release times and taking our skill into the field in which it belongs, which is Hollywood. If you're gonna be a liar, girl, go do that on screen. Like they literally get paid to do that, baby. Like that's where you need to be doing that instead of on Twitter, okay? Like the lies have to stop on the internet. Go do it on the silver screen. That's where it belongs. Keke Palmer, I love you. You will always be famous, and I can't wait to see what you're in next too. I recommend going to see this, you guys. I hope that you're with us next week when we talk about our next highly anticipated release. Bye.